There's a number sitting inside every interest-based loan that Islam calls worse than adultery, worse than robbing a mosque, worse than dozens of major sins combined. And most Muslims sign up for it every single month without blinking. You walk past a bank, you see the logo, the glass doors, the friendly staff. It looks clean, it looks normal, it looks like progress.
But behind that glass door is a transaction that the Quran describes as a declaration of war against Allah and His Messenger. Not a warning, not a caution, a war. Think about that for a second. There is almost nothing else in the entire Quran given that kind of language. Not lying, not cheating, not even most forms of stealing. But riba gets this. Why would something so normal, so everywhere, so accepted, be treated as one of the most dangerous sins a person can commit? Because riba doesn't just take your money, it takes something much harder to get back. Let's rewind. 1400 years ago, riba wasn't hidden behind apps and interest rates and fine print. It was simple. You borrow 10, you pay back 12. That's it. Islam looked at that transaction and said no. Not because struggling people shouldn't get help. Not because trade is bad, but because riba flips the entire purpose of wealth upside down. Instead of money moving toward those who need it, riba pulls money away from those who need it and hands it to those who already have it. The poor stay poor, the rich stay protected, and the gap between them grows every single month, automatically, without either side lifting a finger.
Now, fast forward to today. Riba isn't a guy on the street lending coins anymore. It's mortgages, it's credit cards, it's car loans, it's student loans. It's the entire financial system most people were born into and never questioned. And here's the uncomfortable part. Many Muslims know riba is haram. They'll tell you that in a heartbeat. But they'll still take the loan. They'll still swipe the card. They'll still sign the mortgage. Because the alternative feels impossible. How do you buy a house without a mortgage? How do you survive without credit? The system was built so that avoiding riba feels like avoiding oxygen. And that's exactly the trap. Riba doesn't destroy the Ummah with one dramatic blow. It doesn't need to. It works slowly, quietly, patiently. Like rust on metal you can't see until the structure collapses. A young man takes a loan to start a business. A struggling family takes a loan to survive a hard month. A student takes a loan to get an education that was supposed to open doors. On the surface, these look like solutions. Underneath, they're chains. Because riba doesn't care about your circumstances. It doesn't pause when your business fails. It doesn't wait when your income drops. It compounds. It grows. It multiplies, whether you're thriving or drowning. And this is where the real damage begins, the kind you can't see on a bank statement. Because riba isn't just an economic sin, it's a spiritual one. When a person is buried in interest, something shifts inside them. Anxiety becomes constant, sleep becomes harder, prayer becomes rushed, distracted, disconnected. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to feel close to Allah when your mind is consumed by debt? That's not a coincidence. Wealth built on riba doesn't carry barakah. It might look like more money on paper, but it drains blessing from everything it touches. Homes bought through riba often feel emptier than they should. Businesses funded through riba often collapse under stress that money alone can't explain. It's like filling a cup with water that has a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it never actually fills. But the damage doesn't stop with the individual. This is where it gets bigger than any one person's bank account. When riba spreads across an entire community, an entire nation, an entire ummah, it changes the character of the people. Communities built on interest slowly shift from cooperation to competition. Neighbors who used to lend each other money out of kindness now see each other as customers, or worse, as debtors. The value of brotherhood gets replaced by the value of collateral. Islam built an entire economic vision around mutual support, zakat, sadaqah, Qard Hasan, the beautiful concept of a good loan, given without interest, purely to help another human being stand back on their feet. Riba erases all of that. It replaces generosity with calculation. It replaces trust with contracts. It replaces community with credit scores. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Riba doesn't just weaken the Ummah's wallets,
It weakens its unity. A community drowning in debt has less time for the mosque, less energy for each other, less capacity to fight for bigger causes because everyone is too busy fighting to survive their own bills.
Have you ever wondered why some Muslim communities that are wealthy on paper feel spiritually and socially fragmented? Riba is rarely the only reason, but it is almost always one of them. It quietly redirects a person's entire life energy away from faith and family and toward repayment and stress. Now, here's something most people never stop to think about. Riba wasn't just condemned because it's unfair.
It was condemned because Allah, who created the entire system of wealth and provision, knew exactly what it would do to human hearts over time. Interest promises security, but delivers dependency. It promises growth, but delivers a widening gap between the powerful and the powerless. Look at any society built heavily on interest-based economics today. Ask yourself honestly,
Has it created more peace or more anxiety? More generosity or more greed? More trust between people or more isolation? The scary part is how normal all of this has become. Riba isn't hiding in the shadows anymore. It's advertised. It's marketed as opportunity. It's baked into almost every major financial decision a person makes in their lifetime. Buying a home, starting a business, paying for school. The system wasn't built with an exit door in mind. And that's exactly why so many Muslims feel stuck, caught between what they know is forbidden and what feels practically unavoidable. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Avoiding riba isn't just a personal act of obedience, it's a form of resistance. Every time someone chooses a halal alternative, chooses patience over an easy loan, chooses saving over borrowing, chooses a card Hassan over an interest-based one, they're pushing back against a system that was never designed with their spiritual well-being in mind. It's not always easy, it's not always fast, but slowly, person by person, family by family, it rebuilds the kind of economic culture Islam actually envisioned, one based on compassion instead of compound interest. So the next time you walk past that bank or scroll past another 0% interest for the first year offer, ask yourself a harder question. Is this actually helping me, or is it slowly pulling something out of me I won't notice missing until it's gone? Because riba was never just about money. It was always about what kind of people we become when we let it into our lives.